welcome everybody. My name is Michelle De La Hoz, and I have the honor and the privilege of being the executive director for both Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors. For those folks that have come to this event more than once, you might know that 2 years ago, Neighbors Helping Neighbors affiliated with the Fifth Avenue Committee, and really that was a wonderful moment because two organizations that are deeply committed to working with poor and working class families in South Brooklyn came together to focus our energies and combine our resources on behalf of low-income residents. And whether it's on Fifth Avenue Committee side through the comprehensive set of programs that we have, from affordable housing development and management to organizing and advocacy to our adult education and literacy to our single stop services, or on the NHN side to, again, organizing and advocacy, and in particular tenant advocacy and housing counseling. The need is so great, and the reality is that in the environment that we're in, that the resources are often shrinking while the need is going up. And so it means that nonprofit organizations have to be very smart about combining resources in order to meet the needs. So that's what we did 2 years ago. And we're really here to celebrate that affiliation. Last year when we were here, it was just a few days after Superstorm Sandy. And we were literally all reeling from the effects of that storm, and 13 months later, we're still dealing with the effects of that storm. And I wanted to just briefly share with you some of the accomplishments that Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors together have had as a post-Sandy, and you're going to hear some more about that with the folks that are up here. But since the storm, Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors has directly assisted more than 600 Sandy-impacted families through a range of services, whether that's foreclosure, whether that's benefits access, whether that's access to emergency funds or legal services, and we have a number of our partners in the room from South Brooklyn Legal Services, and it's through those partnerships that we're able to do that. And we've also outreached an additional 500, more than 500 actually, Red Hook and Gowanus homeowners to connect them with government resources like Build It Back, done assessments of homes to ensure that folks are living in properties that are mold-free, and are really now turning our attention to longer-term resiliency and affordability issues, which are really the crisis on the horizon, especially for moderate-income homeowners that might be facing increased insurance rates in the future. So these are the things. The work is still undone, but the reality is that there's a tremendous, talented group of folks that have been on the ground and outreaching to folks, and you're going to meet some of them tonight. You know, and of course, here we are today, shortly after the mayoral election and on the eve of the first mayoral transition in 12 years. And I think that for both Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors, we're really a model for how the tale of two cities becomes the tale of how one city can lift everyone up to have access to equity and opportunity. And that's really through the tremendous effort of the staff and the leadership that we have on both boards. So I actually want to introduce you to one of those incredible staff members right now, Robert McCool, who's our Director of Homeownership Programs, and he's going to introduce one of the homeowners that we've assisted. So I want to invite Robert up first.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, and thank you everyone for coming out tonight. It's great to see you all here. As Michelle mentioned, unfortunately, the foreclosure crisis is still impacting neighborhoods across Brooklyn and New York City many years into the crisis, and the arrival of the storm last year certainly exacerbated the problem. And so I'm very happy to have the opportunities to honor the Center for New York City Neighborhoods this year. Their training and their guidance and their funding has really helped our program grow so that we can meet this need. It's allowed us to bring on a fantastic new foreclosure counselor, Miss Afshan Khan, here in the front. Woo. So Afshan joined us last spring. She jumped in head first, took on a caseload immediately, and has just been a fantastic asset. Also want to say thank you to South Brooklyn Legal Services, who for many years have been a great resource. Putting up with lots of crazy questions from non-attorneys, lots of guidance and training and support, and legal help for some of our hardest cases. Tonight, I'd like to introduce one of our program participants, Carla Jones-Clark. So Carla has been working with us for almost a year. Just to tell you a little bit about what happened, she's a homeowner in Canarsie, suffered like a lot of us with a loss of income during the recession, then had some flooding as a result of the storm. So along the way, we've been working with her to get a permanent loan modification to make her payments more affordable, and linking her up with some other resources to do home repairs, and hopefully get rid of a nasty second loan that's very unaffordable. So some rescue funds to pay that loan off. So I'll introduce you now. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Carla Jones-Clark, and my husband Stephen and I own a home in Canarsie, as Robert stated. And due to unemployment and Superstorm Sandy, we felt that we needed to do a modification. So I wasn't told about Robert, so I called NHN, and I told him my problem. He told me to come in, and he was more than willing to assist me. You have to excuse me, I don't speak in public. And he was more than willing to assist me. He told me what documents to bring. I brought in the documents, and he thoroughly explained the process, and we were on our way to getting my husband and I a modification. This was just the beginning of a wonderful relationship, because since then, he informed me about their single stop program, where again, I called someone, I brought in the documentation, and I was able to acquire funds to begin to repair my basement. And we are now in the process of, we have just acquired me some funds from the MAP program, and we're also working on acquiring funds from the Neighborhood Recovery Fund. And I hope this is just the beginning of the number of programs that you can help me with. So I have been able to repair my badly damaged basement. I must say that NHN Helping Neighbors has been a tremendous help to both my husband and I during these trying times, and all we can say is it's been like a blessing to receive all these services for free at this time. Thank you so much. Happy holidays and good night.
Those testimonials are the reason why many of us do the work that we do. So thank you so much. And I want to actually ask Carla here, Robert, and Christine Peel to come a little bit closer to the podium, if you don't mind, because really, we're going to jointly present this award, okay? Because this is really what it's about. So, yeah. You know, complex social problems, whether they're social or economic, require partnership, they require networks, they require leveraging. And really, the Center for New York City Neighborhoods, which was launched post the financial crisis to deal with New York City's homeownership affordability issues, and then recently retooled to address the affordability issues for homeowners post-Sandy, is an incredible testament to the power of collaboration, partnership, and networks. And it really is a tremendous honor for Neighbors Helping Neighbors and Fifth Avenue Committee to partner with the center, to partner with Christy and her staff, which is really an incredibly dedicated staff. Absolutely. Absolutely dedicated staff. And it's really for that reason that we're honoring them today with the Neighborhood Champion Award, because without that partnership, without that network, without that depth of experience, technical expertise, that guidance, without those rescue funds, The reality is many, many more people would be pushed out of neighborhoods, would be in our shelter system, and families would be disrupted and communities would be disrupted. So on behalf of the tens of thousands of people that you help every year, thank you very much to the center and to Christy and her staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, like Carla, I get a little nervous speaking in public, so give me a second. Wow. This is an incredible honor. So I just wanted to say first, thank you to Michelle, Jamie, Michael, Robert, Carla, all of you for honoring the center tonight. I'm incredibly honored to be representing the board, the staff, and the thousands of homeowners that we represent every year and accepting this reward. I really do accept it on behalf of that whole huge group of people. We really are a collaborative model, as Michelle indicated. We were started in 2008. We represent a network of 37 housing, counseling, and legal services providers throughout New York City who work every day to provide free expert advice to homeowners at risk of losing their homes. So before I get into the meat of the presentation, I just wanted to say this is also a really wonderful homecoming for me personally. I had my first interview in housing with Brad Lander on the at the Fifth Avenue Committee offices in 1994 on 14th Street, and because of that great introduction, I worked with Aaron on the Economic Development Committee and Ben on the Community Advisory Committee for many years as a proud Park Slope resident. So to be honored as a representative of the center is just incredibly touching for me personally, as well as really affirming of all the work that we do. So, as you heard, our mission is to promote and protect affordable homeownership in New York City. We couldn't do it without groups like South Brooklyn Legal Services and Fifth Avenue Committee, Neighborhood Neighbors Helping Neighbors. I just need to say, take a lot of this time to talk about Robert McCool. Not only... Robert is really the reason that we're all here today. Not only does he have the best name in foreclosure prevention and beyond, but he really is the person that we think of when we think of the excellent qualities and services. Just when we think of the ultimate person in our network, we think of Robert. We've turned to him. Yeah. And I have to say, just as an example, we've been working really closely with Robert from before we even provided you guys grant funds, just to show. From the very early days, we worked with Neighbors Helping Neighbors when Nellie was there, when Julia was there, and you guys have always been fantastic partners, again, committed to working on the issues, helping us develop new programs. Robert submitted one of the first MAP loan applications. And for those of you that don't know, the MAP loan program provides foreclosure prevention loans of 0%, 30-year, $25,000 grants, loans for homeowners to keep them in their homes. And it was the model for the Neighborhood Recovery Fund that Miss Clark, I was right, okay, Miss Clark took advantage of, so we're so happy for that. But beyond that, Robert was one of the people that we turned to when we started the mentoring program. He's one of our highly proficient counselors who helped mentor some of the newer counselors in the network. And it's really because of people like Robert that we started that program, where we saw there was this intense, excellent knowledge and expertise that we wanted to pass on to the other parts, other organizations, and make sure that everybody could take advantage of his excellent skills. He also helped us start the Housing Mobility Program. I mean, the ways that he's helped us really go on and on. But the thing about Robert is he's the one that I called after Sandy when we had a homeowner who was in particular distress. And at that point, I don't believe you guys were working in Bay Ridge, but he was the person that I thought of that could help this homeowner. She was out of her home. She had 3 children. She was in really challenging situation, multiple mortgages that she had to resolve. So he's the person that I turned to, and he really provided her amazing help, helped her get back in her home and her home repaired. So thank you for that. So I really can't say enough good things about you, Robert, but I'm really accepting this award on behalf of you and all the other providers like Erica, these really amazing people in our network. We can't, we strive to be as excellent as you guys are, and we really, literally couldn't do this without you, so thanks so much.
Well, you're getting a sense of the quality of staff that we're blessed to have, both at Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and that absolutely goes for the person that I'm about to introduce, Marcela Montañez, who's the Tenant Organizing and Advocacy Program Coordinator in our Sunset Park office. And Marcela came to Neighbors Helping Neighbors as a tenant leader, as someone that was organizing in her own building against the injustice that she saw. And she took that knowledge and those skills and is now able to pass that on as a tenant advocate working directly with others. And I'm going to invite Marcela up to present the Keep Up the Fight Award to Lisa Rocho. Yes, because the reality is, for those of us in New York City who care about affordable housing, for those of us in New York City who care about ensuring that the city is inclusive and diverse, we all know the importance that our affordable housing is as a tremendous resource, whether that's project-based Section 8, which is what she's going to talk about, or rent-stabilized housing, or any of the other tremendous resources that we have. And Marcela's there not only to protect that tremendous asset, but ensure that the tenants are involved and that their voice is heard as part of that protection and part of that advocacy. So, Marcela.
Thank you. So I want to explain a little bit about the tenant program, just to let you know what kind of services that we provide. So we've, on the tenant side, have provided a minimum of at least 300 tenants within the last year. Our purpose is to educate tenants on their rights, help them obtain needed repairs, fight rent overcharges, and combat landlord harassment, and help prevent evictions. Neighbors Helping Neighbors provides one-on-one counseling. We conduct tenants' right workshops throughout the community and organize tenants in distressed buildings. And Neighbors Helping Neighbors also participates in local, city, and statewide campaigns. But today I want to talk about one of our tenant leaders, Luis Arocho. I met Louis when I started working for Neighbors Helping Neighbors in 2008. Louis was a tenant that grew up in Park Slope with his family. But soaring rents, increased harassment, and changes in that neighborhood forced Louis to move multiple times. He was forced to relocate in Sunset Park, where affordable rent meant moving into a room. It took 5 years on a waiting list, but finally, Louis scored an affordable housing apartment through project-based Section 8 and HUD housing. But his new home was not without problems. Louis helped organize his neighbors by passing out flyers and door knocking to get tenants involved. They eventually formed a tenant association. Tired of meeting in libraries and at the local church, the tenants fought for a permanent meeting space within their building. Neighbors Helping Neighbors joined the tenant association as they fought the threat of losing their rental subsidy. But the fight isn't over. 2014 brings about a new threat as these 408 units of affordable housing in Sunset Park are threatened. The rental subsidy is once again up for renewal. With increased federal funding cuts, lack of affordable housing, and the pressures of a changing neighborhood, Louis is getting ready for a new battle. He recently traveled with me to Washington, D.C. for a national conference on HUD tenants. And as a true leader, I can tell you Louis spent all morning flyering those 408 tenant-built apartments. But Louis also recently ran into newly elected Mayor Bill de Blasio and quickly took the opportunity. as a true leader, to tell de Blasio what the city really needs: affordable housing. So it's with great honor that I present this award. It reads, Keep Up the Fight Award, because Louis is known in the neighborhood as the abogado. And in English, that means the lawyer, because Louis will most likely have the answer to your tenant problem.
Thank you very much for this award and everything, for all the hard work I was doing. And I do miss, Park Slope, but my new neighborhood is Sunset Park. And I keep on, helping tenants with their problems with repairs and everything. And that's my nature, to help people and everything. And I liked it, it helped me out to learn when I have problems. So I help others. I feel better like that. Thank you.
Great. Abogado, abogado, abogado. The reality is we would never have enough resources to reach all of the folks in need, and we absolutely need grassroots leadership that can reach out one-on-one with other residents to help bring people into the fold. So, Louis, thank you very, very much for all that you do, and for all that I know you're going to continue to do on behalf of the tenants in Sunset Park. Thank you. We're joined tonight by Assemblymember Jim Brennan, who's a longtime friend of both Neighbors Helping Neighbors and Fifth Avenue Committee. Absolutely. Round of applause. I think many people know Jim because he's a constant in our community for a number of years, and constant not only in terms of his presence, but in terms of his advocacy on behalf of the people that he represents. Just last Friday, he helped lead a press conference at the Fifth Avenue Committee around Atlantic Yards and ensuring accountability as it relates to the affordable housing. He is able to think both and deliver both on the individual level and really broad policy level, and I think we're tremendously honored to have him here tonight. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michelle, and to you and to tonight's honorees, congratulations, and to your staff members and board members, thank you for your service to tens of thousands of Brooklynites for so many years. I've had the opportunity since I've been in office for nearly 30 years to represent virtually every neighborhood served by the Fifth Avenue Committee and Neighbors Helping Neighbors. And I was elected when I was 9 years old. And so I'm only 39 now, but I've represented Sunset Park, Kensington, Windsor Terrace, Park Slope, and parts of Prospect Heights, and one point of Prospect Heights, and a wide variety of neighborhoods. And I've admired tremendously the work of these organizations as they have persevered and survived. And they could not have survived without high quality, competent, capable leadership and integrity and creativity as the various challenges involved with the housing crisis and government funding have put so many organizations behind the eight ball from time to time. I've seen many not-for-profit organizations, even excellent ones, stumble and fall, and so the survival of these two organizations and their triumph as successful not-for-profit organizations is very, very important. And we all know that even though we are very hopeful because we have progressive leadership in the mayor's office coming, that the affordable housing crisis continues to deepen. And so having Neighbors Helping Neighbors and the Fifth Avenue Committee in place here in our own communities is very important for us and the future of the people in this neighborhood in terms of their ability to stay and be part of the community and to have equity and opportunity in Brooklyn. So I'm pleased to be here, and thank you, Michelle, for allowing me to participate.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Brennan. I'm going to invite up now Michael Wadman, who's the chair of Neighbors Helping Neighbors and also a board member of the Fifth Avenue Committee, to kind of share some closing remarks. And I also, yes, bye-bye. Thank you, Jim. I also want to make sure that we thank this evening's sponsors. Whoops. And they're all here in your program recognized, and I, of course, want to thank Union Hall very, very much. Absolutely. Thank you. We've had this event a number of times here at Union Hall, and every year the staff here is tremendous resource, very giving, and we really, really appreciate the hospitality. So Michael, come on up.
Thanks. So I get to go last, which means that everyone said everything. I was going to thank Union Hall, but, well, sorry, that's no good. I was going to say I was really happy to be in Jim Brennan's district, but anyway, he just spoke. Let's see. Actually, one of the reasons that NHN pursued this affiliation with FACT, this is the one serious thing I'm going to say, and the fact that we're honoring Center for New York City Neighborhoods tonight really means a lot to me, because there was a point right after the recession hit and right when the foreclosure crisis hit, and as you've probably gathered, for small nonprofits in particular, but a lot of us, we were struggling pretty hard. And one great point of frustration for me was that the quality program we were providing was basically too small and too unstable to qualify for money from Center for New York City Neighborhoods. I remember looking at it and saying, you know, we're not eligible. We're too small, we don't have a budget amount, that kind of thing. And to be sitting here several years later, and unfortunately the work still has to be done, and thank God there are people who are still funding it, and because of the affiliation, we have been recently awarded funds and we're going to proceed. And we've been awarded funds from other places where we couldn't have gotten those funds. And instead of our staff being on furlough and us being practically out of business, we're proceeding with a new and energetic, new staff members, and Robert's getting the appreciation he's deserved all these years, and things are really moving forward. So the fact that we're part of this family and that you're all here tonight at Union Hall for yet another celebration is very moving for me. So thanks to everybody, thanks to Union Hall, and get another drink.
Thank you, everybody. Eat, drink, and enjoy our entertainment downstairs. We have a DJ. We need to dance.